Greetings, friends. Welcome to another episode of Black Metal and Brews. Today, we're going to do another one of those things where I just talk about some concerts and drink a beer. So if you don't want to hear about my concert experiences or you're mostly here for the tapes, I'll get you real soon. I've got another one coming up. Today, we're going to discuss a couple of black metal shows I've attended recently. I'm trying to kind of pair them together stylistically, thematically, something. Keep it a little fun. And we're going to drink what I view as the absolute essential Oktoberfest beer, Ayinger's Marzen Oktoberfest. We're going to have a really good time. Total Bavarian style fun, and two North American black metal shows with a little bit of European influence, as we'll see. First off, let's get our pour going. And we'll open things up with the first show I'll be discussing, which is a nice little gig I attended about 3 weeks ago with groups Tetrad Veil opening, Vanum as the second act of the night, and Predatory Light as the headliner closing act. It was at the Higher Watermark here in Portland, Oregon, and gosh, it was a really nice time. I don't really have the dimpled mug that Rate Beer recommends I have, so we're just going to drink this out of a Nonic pint glass. You can see, hopefully, nice kind of yellowy, ambery color, kind of very, just, oh gosh, slightly sweet and grassy. A little bit of that kind of just fresh. This is, I mean, if you like the Oktoberfest style at all, you like a good lager, and you have yet to have this guy, you need it in your life. I mean, I haven't even had one yet this year, and I always look forward to this. It's affordable, it's delicious. You know, good beer doesn't have to be expensive. Like, just because you paid $8, $10, $20 for a bottle of something does not mean it was worth it. I've learned that the hard way, and sometimes I found, I think this was $3.50, and it's fucking essential. Definitely, oh my gosh, crisp, almost a little bit of caramel toffee, lightly hopped, not heavy in the bite, just enough to kind of add that little zing to it. Oh gosh, wonderful beer. I love it. I hope you will too. So, Tetrad Veil being the opening act of this concert, which I believe the fellow is associated with Ardor Loom and has been involved in Wolves of the Throne Room at one point or another, but solo, Tetrad Veil performs droning, throbbing, ritual, ambient, kind of death industrially, but not so much in the rhythmic sense. Very precise, meditative, ritualistic, with the occasional kind of chanting, screaming business going. Very well orchestrated. Had, the typical noise table, but a little more involved. I had not heard his music before, and I was really delighted to hear it. Following that was Vanum, whose debut release this year has been getting a lot of attention, and deservedly so. It's a collaboration between two of the masterminds behind Ashbore and Fell Voices, and like pretty much anything those fellows have done, it's just massive. It's beautiful. They played with a ferocity that I wouldn't have expected. It was really aggressive set, despite the incredible melodies. I feel like the nature of the album, I feel like it almost could have been composed on a piano. It's so beautiful. So it was really great to see Reykjavik's of Fell Voices just bug-eyed, just screaming, shirtless, like maniacal. It was a really good balance to the beautiful sounds they create, and they definitely brought the energy. It was A+. It's unlikely you'll get to see them much because they live across the country from each other, but for some reason the opportunity presents itself to you, do it. You won't regret it. Predatory Light had some issues. their bass player wasn't able to make the show due to medical reasons, which pretty severe. I mean, I think he's fine, but it is severe to miss a show for medical reasons. If I had to leave after their first song, and given that I couldn't hear anything once I was just across the street at the bus stop, I think they only played one song because it was just not happening that night. The song they played sounded great. I'm a little foggy because it's been almost a month now. I believe it was a track off the first demo. A+, as always. Predatory Light is just a fantastic band, and I love them a lot. It was great to get out and see those folks. The next concert we'll discuss is one I had the pleasure of catching actually last night here at the Panic Room in Portland, Oregon, which used to be called the Tonic Lounge for those who've been keeping track. I actually wrote my first concert review of a show in Oregon about it the time I saw Hell and Bell Witch, Ephemeris, and Shadow the Torturer there. The venue's not changed a whole lot. A little nicer in the interior, and I've been told they got a better sound system, but it's been a long time since I've been there, so I can't say. There's this really cool TV like in the lounge bar area where you can see the bands in the other room playing, which is cool, but the opening act of the night was Mania, which is Nate from Eternal Warfare's solo project, and like a lot of solo projects, I imagined that it would be him with some friends jamming it out, but no, he plays the drums and does vocals to recordings of the other instruments that he made, which at first I thought he was just sound checking during the intro to the first song, but geez, dude, it picked up really, really fully realized sound, really solid. It's clearly death metal at heart with hints of black and doom metal, some almost dissection-like melodies at times, other times just brutal blasting passages. Dude brought the energy, and I'm not one of those people who needs to see 5 or 6 guys on stage thrashing them out, so it was a brilliantly put together performance, and Nate really knows how to do it. I was blown away by his most recent work. I think it's the most recent. He's a prolific guy. Maybe he's done more. The split with Mizmor he did. So it was really cool to finally get to catch his project live. Following that, we're Bay Area black noise act Sutekh Hexen, whose shirt I'm wearing. I don't know how well you can see it. Got it at the show because I had to. Not even going to touch on the name of Sutekh Hexen. I know there's disputes and all that, and what I saw last night was good. They call themselves Sutekh Hexen, and I had a good time. The dudes who are not in Sutekh Hexen anymore also make great music that deserves your support. Period. That's my thoughts on that. What matters to me is that I entered this room, they turned off the lights, filled the place with fog, set out 2 lights, just like 2 blue lights on the stage, and played this absolutely haunting set. Like, I was sober. I think I started to sip on a single beer during their set, a Ninkasi Dawn of the Red, for what it's worth. Hi, Jareth. And I felt like I was, like, not there. Like, I was just somewhere else, unsober or out of touch with reality. They had these just kind of simple but haunting samples, some real good ambience of water and honey, you're gonna knock everything over. Jesus. Started slowly, creepily, before building up to this churning 2-guitar wall of just throbbing, pulsing noise, with percussive static coming here and there. Andy Way just shrieking, manipulating sounds with his voice. It's really hard to put to words what they did, because it was more experiential than it was, there were these defined melodies. I mean, there were, but what fascinated me was that I kept thinking, I'm like, Would I show this to somebody who's like, I want a black metal band? No. Would I show this to somebody who wants noise? No. But at the same time, I thought it held such appeal. It's like if somebody was really into noise and wanted to know about black metal, it'd be a perfect bridge, or vice versa. And they occupy this territory that's just really fascinating to me. So getting to see it in the live arena was really satisfying to me, especially after having waited for quite a while. I got into them with the release of Behind the Throne a little while back when Ort Records did the little tape box. So it's been, a couple years now I've been waiting to see them, and they delivered. I had a wonderful time. Following them was, Mexican black metal act Lluvia, although I believe they take residence here in the States, in the Bay Area. Mexico is home, and that's where they identify. They played just a pretty brief set, but the atmosphere was on point. It was just drums, synth, and guitar, along with like a nice little kind of altar set up on stage. Beautifully orchestrated riffs. Of course, Sounds of Rainfall, as Lluvia is Spanish for rain, and the project was formerly The Rain and Endless Fall. I don't have words. If you have any opportunity to see Lluvia, do it. You won't regret it. They've got just black metal USBM down to an art, kind of putting to shame a lot of acts I've seen, truth be told. They could have played for another half hour and I would have been thrilled. And I rarely say that. I think bands, even amazing bands, often play longer sets than they need to, and it becomes an endurance test even when you love it. After that were two bands I did not expect to see, as I was tired and I wasn't really familiar with them. Old Coven, kind of black thrash, very efficient, very merciless. I'll admit I did spend part of their set sitting in the lounge area because my knees were hurting, man. I've got bad knees and just c'est la vie. But I was in there for a few of their songs, and they're vicious. The guitarist had like so many patches, and he had all these really cool, like he had Isengard and a bunch of bands I love on his little vest. Really solid, aggressive as hell, exactly what you'd want in that. And I wish I'd had a little extra for some of their stuff. Finally was Goat Torment, Belgian Black Death Horde. They came onto the music from The Omen. Vicious. I was so impressed I didn't leave, even though I'd been planning. I'm like, oh, it's late, I need to go to bed, Show ended a little after 1 a.m. Still worth it. Last things before we go here, because I'm running out of time. Got a zine. I'll give you an update on that soon. Got a copy of the newest Lluvia cassette. We'll let you know about that soon. Special edition tour only Lluvia cassette. And, not mine, but I picked this up for a friend. Special test press edition of Lluvia's Premonition de Guerra. I'll let you know what he thinks once that's